What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on the basics of highlighting and contouring. I had several of my subscribers ask me for this video, so here it is for you guys. So if you would like to see my tips and tricks and the way that I highlight and contour, then please keep on watching. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have already done my brows and my eyes. I have plenty of other videos doing those things already, so if you want to see how I do those, watch another one after. To get started, we are going to prime our face. I typically use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, which I really love. It really fills in your pores and makes your skin really smooth. Also, I've already moisturized my face, which would definitely be step one. So we just want to make sure we get our primer into any problem areas we have, any areas that are going to get oily or any areas that we are going to have any creasing. So just make sure you focus on those areas for sure. After priming our face, we are going to move on to foundation. For foundation today, I'm going to be trying the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation for the first time. I'm just going to take a little concealer brush here and dab it in, and I'm just going to apply this to my face. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the color looks pretty good. We'll see more once we blend this out. I'm just gonna apply this over my face and then we're gonna blend it out. It might be a little light, we'll see. To buff this out, I'm going to use the Artis Oval 7 brush. I'm just gonna go in with these like small little patting motions. I don't know, I'm not like dying right now that it's like the most amazing foundation in the whole world, but that's not the point of the video, so let's get moving to highlighting and contouring. So for the next step, we are going to start highlighting our face by using our concealer. For concealer, I like to use the Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the color Light Sand. So your highlighter or your concealer, which are the same thing, should be 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation color. I'm just gonna use the applicator and I am going to apply my highlighter / concealer right under my eyes here, right here at the top of my forehead, drag it down my nose, and then just a little bit right here. These are the points that we are going to want to highlight, really have any light hit these points of our face. We want to accent these points in our face. Anywhere that we are going to contour later are places that we want to darken and kind of create a shadow and give the face some dimension. I'm going to use this brush once again, the Artis Oval 7. This brush is expensive as fuck, but it is definitely worth it for me so far. So we are just going to buff this out under our eyes. We want to make sure we're really blending out any edges. Now we are going to set any places that we have put concealer. If we don't set them, the concealer is going to settle into our wrinkles and fine lines, and they are just going to enhance those features. So we definitely want to go over with a translucent powder to make sure that doesn't happen and to make sure our concealer just looks smooth and flawless. To apply my translucent powder, I am going to be using the Sephora Pro Contour Brush, and I'm just going to lightly dust this along anywhere I placed my concealer. I'm going to lightly dust this here, shake off any excess, and then just give it a light pat. If you do have some wrinkles or fine lines underneath of your eyes, you're going to want to make sure you're going like this. Bruh. Making one of these. Bruh. When you are putting the powder on, just to make sure you're really getting it into those lines and not just over top. Moving right along, let's start to contour. For my contour, I like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. This is in the shade Fawn. One thing you want to think about when you are purchasing your contour color is that you don't want it to have any warmth to it. You want your contour color to be like the color of a shadow, so you want it to be very cool, have very gray undertones. Anything that is super warm is not going to look right on the face. As you can see, this is very cool toned. I am going to contour 4 main places on my face. We are going to go along our forehead here to make us look like we have a small little forehead when we don't. We are going to contour down along our chin here to make us look like we don't have a double chin when we do. The next place we are going to contour, and the most important place, is our cheekbones. So you want to start at the top of your ear and bring it down to your mouth, but definitely we're not going to bring it the whole way, but that is the direction we are going to want to go. So if you took the end of a brush and placed it at the top of your ear and then put the brush into the corner of your mouth, this is the line that you are going to want to contour on. We definitely are only going to want to bring our contour about halfway in between those two. So the goal here is really just to give our face some dimension, really make us like look super skinny face, and just really define our cheekbones, which is going to make us look super pretty. So I'm just going to put this right here and back into my hairline, and I'm just going to draw a line down. Like I said, we're going to stop about halfway. Same thing. The last place I'm going to contour is my nose, because my nose is a hunker. So we're going to make sure we make this look super skinny. So I'm just going to put some of this along the bridge of my nose on both sides, and then just along the tip as well. So look how skinny my nose is, girl. Once again, I am going in with the Artis Oval 7 brush. I am going to buff out my contour. For your jawline, you definitely want to buff this down into your neck. The last thing we want is to be that girl who has like the line of black or really dark brown along our chin, so make sure we're blending it down. As you can see, the contour is almost creating like a shadow-like appearance along our jawline, which is just making it look more slender and slimmer and covering up anything that we don't like. We're going to go in on the hairline, just pushing it back into the hairline. If you don't have a brush like this, you can definitely buff out your contour with several things. Any sort of a dense brush will do. The brush I used before I got this brush looked like this. Is the Sephora Press Full Coverage Precision brush. So it is just very small and very dense. Anything that is super dense is going to work perfectly for buffing out your contour. The contour, because it is quite dark, does take a little bit more of buffing than, say, the concealer does, and the concealer is a bit more light than the contour, so you're going to want something that's quite dense to buff out your contour. You definitely could also use a beauty blender. I mean, the beauty blender definitely takes a little bit longer for the contour. The beauty blender is also great for doing your concealer with. I just find that sometimes the beauty blender takes off more product than it like puts on, so I've been loving the brush more for doing my concealer, because I just find like it gives more coverage. And then for the cheekbones, we are going to want to blend up and really lift the face and lift the cheekbones. So I'm just going to do little strokes, just lifting up the cheekbones and blending the contour up. And then just really make sure you're pushing it all the way back into your hairline. So like I said, for the contour, basically what we are doing is trying to create shadows on the face. So we're trying to almost create a shadow along this part of our nose. So the eye will just focus right here where we have highlighted, and just giving the appearance of a more slender nose. For your bronzer, you could use any shade you wanted. I typically use this one right here. Don't mind this dusty ass palette, it has been around the world. The Matte Give Me Sun has a lot more of a warmer undertone versus the Hoola bronzer, which is a much more of that gray-y, more cool undertone. So this one would be great for warming up your face or making you look extra tanned, where this one is going to give us a bit more dimension on the face. But really, I use both of them quite often. I am going to go in with the MAC Give Me Sun first. I am going to put this on a MAC 113 brush. I think this brush is pretty old. I'm going to concentrate most of my product right here right by the hairline, and then anything left I'm just going to buff down in the same area that we did our contour. And then same thing on the other side. So basically all of the product right here by the hairline in small circles, and then we're going to blend it down, anything that's remaining, and same thing just to that halfway mark in between our ear and our mouth. I'm also going to go ahead and do the same thing here along my neck and make sure I'm blending it down, giving us that super chiseled jawline. And then same thing up here, I'm going to do small circles on my forehead. For my nose contour, I'm going to use I am going to use a shade from the Master Palette by Mario. So as you can see here, these are both kind of a light brown color, but this Lula shade right here is very gray undertone, whereas Isabelle has a very warm undertone. So this is kind of the difference you want to be looking for. Do not use any do not use anything with a super warm undertone. You want to always go for the more shadowy like undertone colors, which is this gray one right here. Okay, for my nose contour, I am going to use this blending brush right here. This is from Sigma. It is the Domed Blending. I'm going to take just the smallest little dab of product, like one little dab, and we're just going to go in very lightly along our nose here. And then we're just going to blend this down. I'm going to use my Beauty Blender to blend this. My Beauty Blender smells so good. I just washed it. It smells delicious. So I've had people ask me before what my favorite brush cleaner is, and I recently got the Beauty Blender brush cleaner, and it's amazing. It cleans my brushes in like a second. It smells good, and yeah, I would really recommend that one. Okay, so we are looking pretty contoured, pretty highlighted, but we can definitely always do more. So we are gonna go in one more time and really carve out these cheekbones so we are looking snatched. To do that, I am going to use this Kevyn Aucoin contour brush. It's called the Contour Brush. This brush is gorgeous. It is like heavy. It is like stunning. I want to like sleep with it. The best part about it was that I found this brush at Marshall's. I don't know if everyone watching has Marshall's where they live, but it's kind of like a Winners, and the Marshall's that is by my house always has the best makeup products. They get MAC, they get Kevyn Aucoin, they have had such, they get Kat Von D. I have seen such awesome deals. So if you guys have a Marshall's near you, then like run, go. You could get a Kevyn Aucoin brush for 20 bucks. So to really carve out these cheekbones, I am going to use this more gray undertone bronzer. So this is the Hoola bronzer, and I'm going to take this Kevyn Aucoin brush. So I'm just going to concentrate this right here. See that? Okay, this brush is bomb. So I'm just gonna go back and forth a few times, making sure this is blended out nicely, making sure they are even. Hit this jawline. Okay, girl. Hi. Hi, contour. Every once in a while throughout my makeup, I like to just put a setting spray all over, especially once I've done a few steps and I want them just to melt together nicely. So for that, I'm gonna use the Urban Decay All Nighter, and I'm just gonna spray this all over my face. So I like to spray it just before my highlighter step because it makes your highlighter look extra poppin'. Okay, girl, so we are looking pretty cute so far. Now is the most fun part of all. Highlighting. For highlighter today, I am going to use the Huda Beauty, what's this one called? The Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palette. She does have a few. I don't know if this one has a shade on it. I think that this is like the original one, the OG, and it has some beautiful shades in it. So this one comes with 4 shades. Let's do this shade first. This is called This is called Azores, I think. Azores. I'm just gonna go right in on my finger here, and I'm gonna apply this right on the highest points of my cheekbone here, right at the very tip top. Okay. Okay, Huda. Okay, yeah, this is gorgeous. So it is quite very bright. So I'm not gonna put too much more on. And then I'm just gonna actually, I'm going to give my Beauty Blender a mist of this all-nighter, and I am just going to blend this out on my face before it sets in place and we look crazy. A mistake that I used to make is that I would put my highlighter all the way down my top of my cheekbone right here, but right here is where you tend to have a lot of imperfections, and when you place just like this bright shining highlighter on top of it, it really just brings them to light. So you might see that there's a lot of pores here, a lot of large pores. So we want to just make sure we are just highlighting right here, kind of like the same that we did the contour. So maybe just like halfway or even less in between right here and our nose. So I'm gonna go ahead and buff this out again on this side. So I'm also gonna highlight right along my hair, right in between my hairline and my brow on this side and also on this side. We're gonna blend this out. We are gonna highlight the top of our lip here. And to highlight my nose, I'm going to use the other shade here. I'm gonna use Santorini. And I'm gonna just take that on my pinky finger. Yeah, this is beautiful. I'm gonna take that on my pinky finger and I'm just going to drag it down the top bridge of my nose. Remember, we are going to highlight this area right here, making it super skinny, making that the focal point. And then the same, I'm just gonna dip in one more time and I'm gonna do just a little dot right on the top of my nose. Same thing, blending it out with our Beauty Blender. It needs a little mist again. Oh yeah. And now we are going to do some blush. So I'm going to use this creamy blush shade. So this is in the shade Ibiza, and I'm just going to use my finger again. And we want to apply the blush in between our contour and our highlight. So our face is going to go highlighter, blush, and then contour. They're all in a very concentrated area, but we want to make sure they are separate, but we want to make sure they're also blended nicely together. So I'm just going to apply this blush right here to the apples of my cheeks. And it is very pretty and pink. And then I'm just going to blend it back, and I'm going to blend it with my Beauty Blender. Now, because we want to be super extra, we are going to go over our highlighter one more time using a powder. So for that, I'm going to use this Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder. This is in the shade Illuminati. For my cheeks, I'm going to use the Sephora Pro Contour. I'm just going to dip into anything I have on the lid here, and definitely make sure you give it one of those. Okay, so we are just going to apply the powder just to the very tip top point of our cheekbone, so right up there. That is looking poppin'. We are going to be blinding some people in the light. And we are also just going to go down our nose. For that, I'm going to use the Sigma Lash Fan Brush. It's like this little, teeny tiny fan brush. Just going to dip in there and I'm going to run this down my nose. Also on the tip of my nose. And then on my Cupid's bow. I also am just going to apply a bit of a powder blush as well. This is the Tarte in Party. And I'm just going to quickly do the same thing where I put that other blush, the creamy one, right in between. And I like doing blush last because it definitely diffuses any harsh lines we got from the contour or from the highlighter. It just kind of melts everything together super nicely. Well, once again, I'm going to give my face a spritzeroo using the Urban Decay All Nighter. Like, drown your face basically. I am just going to throw some lipstick on and we are going to be done. Okay, so how bomb is this lip? This is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Palette right here. This is shade, oh God, my little card just fell on the ground. Oh, here it is. It is the shade 9 from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Palette, and I am loving it. But anyways, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not already, please remember to subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Please leave me some comments down below if you learned anything new or if there is something that you do differently for your highlighting and contouring. And that is it, so I will see you next time.